Hey guys. D, can you hear me now? Hey Jay, hey Steve, hey Cat's Meow, hey D, hey Steph, hey Kara, hey Ziggy, hey Tinky, hey Tina Justina, hey Hara, hey Becky, hey Leo's wife, and Leo's wife, I agree with you. Hey Kara, hey Barbara, hey Ziggy, in case I forgot you. I think I said what's up, Steve. Hey Amelia, hey JM, hey D, hey Serenity, hey Dr. Gunsmith, hey Exploring Ginger, hey Shannon, hey old Blue Eyes, hey Bonnie, hey Amanda, hey Extreme Mom, hey SMS, hey Kara, hey Georgia, hey Angeline, hey Angel Rose, hey Jay. It's been an exciting day. See, Kara, I'm going to touch on that. I'm going to get to that. And I should add Alex Jones in my title. Barbara, how are you feeling? Hi, Dee Dee. I got confused with D-Caz and Dee Dee. Hey, Gala Girl. Hey, Red Dragon. Hey, Kim. Tina, did you see this? Prison guard posted he was taken out by a black van, then guards called away. Then the suicide guard says he thinks it's a double body, that it's not really him. I don't buy this whole conspiracy theory stuff. Hey, Wild Rose. I really don't. I never bought into the... I don't buy conspiracy theories. I never really did. Hold on. I gotta put some in Patreon chat for a minute. Bear with me. Um... Give me 1 second, guys. Marty, why are you laughing? Nobody's jumping. Okay. Anyone else? Galway Girl, Marty, Dee Dee? Anyone? Kimberly, trust me when I tell you, you were misinformed about a lot of things today, but it's not my business. Nobody else except Becky? Alright, put some boots here. What's up, Intense Echo? Where are you? Alright. Marty, just for that? You going, what's up, Vera Cozy? Where's Marty? Dun, dun, dun. Look at her cozy coming back. No, not you, D. You're not a Patreon. The other DD is. What's up, Tyra? Where's Marty? I'd be like Hockey Mom and just wrench everyone. All right. There you are. All right. So before I get started, I know that there's a lot of questions. And I'm going to say it all out straight up. And I'm going to spend about 5 minutes on it and I'm moving on. Iricozy's here, that's right. So I just want to say, for everything, the 6 hours of dragging today, I heard bits and pieces, and all I can tell you, ask for proof. A phone call is not proof. Ask for proof. That's it. I could spend 3 minutes saying it. Ask for proof. There is none, because none of that shit is real. So let them do whatever they want. I don't care. Let them say whatever they want. I don't care. But my only question, and I'm going to close on this. This is my only question. If I am such a horrible human being, and I am the shadiest, biggest liar, doxer, the most fucked up bitch, and the shadiest, how nobody knows me, and I am so horrible, and I do all these wicked ass things, ask yourself, wouldn't people be afraid of me? If I'm that bad, people should be afraid then. But everybody runs their mouth, which tells me that it's all bullshit. I know it's bullshit, but I'm not shady. I am not this fucking crazy person that they think I am, because if I was, they would be shitting in their pants. They would not talk about me for 7 hours or constantly talk about me because they'd be afraid of me. So considering nobody's afraid, ask yourself, it's probably all a fucking lie. So that's all I'm going to say about today. Hey, BLT. And with that said, all right, Rachel, I've never seen you before, but I'm going to say, 6 hours, Katia. I'm going to say this. If one more person asks some stupid things like that, they're going to get out because I don't need it. Followers know me no matter what channel I'm on. So do me a favor. Anyone that comes in with stupid questions, just block them. I don't care. Get rid of them. I don't care. Because the stupid questions like that are normally for trolls. So I don't even care if people get blocked. Hey, Brady. I know, right, Leo? Hey, EDM. I don't even know you. I saw your live come up in my feed. Okay. So what does the title say? It's about a crime that happened. It's about a suicide. So there's no reason to ask a dumb question. And I'm not trying to be an asshole, but it's just been a long day. Yeah, it's Tina, just Tina. So to get started, what's up, Sweet Purple? You do know that you are not topic for this 5 hours. I apologize saying you had a hand in the Tilly Mae shit. I'm here for the Epstein stuff. This is my wheelhouse. Kimberly, I am okay with that. Hey, Carol, I'm okay with that. And you were not blocked. But it was 5 hours. Mandy was only the topic for the first 2. Then it was me for 5 or 4. It was ridiculous. I shouldn't have even brought up at all. But my point is, just everyone needs to ask themselves that. If I was all these things, then people should be afraid of me. They're not afraid of me because they keep talking about me. So I can't be all these horrible things or do these horrible things, or they'd be afraid I would do it to them. I would be the most feared person on YouTube. I know, Georgia. Aren't I just so scary? It was more than an hour. Steph, believe me, it's better to be lost. Thank you, Katia. Exactly, intense echo. My point exactly. All right. So as far as Jeffrey Epstein, I have to give this topic tonight to Tawanda, who exactly BLT. That's what I'm saying. Nobody would be a patron. Nobody would be anything. So let me say what I have to say about Epstein. I have to bring some Alex Jones into this. Hey, Italian girl. I got to bring some Alex Jones into this. Oh, I don't think so, Brady. I think it was suicide. The reason why I have to bring some Alex Jones into this is because, and Tawanda won't be here because California and Oregon had, and Stephanie, I'm surprised you're here, had really, really bad storms. Like, Whiskey lost power in the middle of the night. Tawanda lost power, so her data's low. Hey, Catalina, her data's low, so she won't be able to be here tonight, but I spoke to her on the phone. And, okay. So Alex Jones had always planted in everybody's head. Now, let me just say, I fucking hate Alex Jones. I think he's the biggest idiot ever. And I think he's nothing but an entertainer who likes to entertain people. So when he started this whole Clinton has connections to, not prostitution rings, to porn rings, child porn rings, he's connected to people with child porn issues. Well, you know what? On the flip side of it, so is Trump, because Trump was just as good friends with this guy. So if that's who Alex Jones was talking about, and believe me, I can't stand Alex Jones. Brady will tell you that. So it really makes me think that Epstein is who he was talking about, because Epstein was first arrested in 2008. I don't remember when, hey, Wicked Gaming, I don't remember when Alex Jones came out with this because I don't follow Alex Jones, but I don't remember. Clinton's, that's another thing. Angelica, thank you. That's what I was talking about, that Clinton had ties to, a prostitution ring, or Bill Clinton or whoever. Hey, Alyssa. So it really got me thinking that maybe this is who he was talking about. Alex talked about all this for 20 years. Okay, well, this guy's been arrested. It's been 20 years. Well, no, it's not. It's been 12. But either way, Hillary was the last to visit him in prison. But then again, there's pictures of him and Trump. Epstein was definitely killed by the Clintons. Everybody around the Clintons mysteriously die. Tina, that's way too conspiracy theory for me. Like, all kidding aside, it is. It's too much conspiracy. Prince Andrew, you're right. And I'm going to get into all that. So before I go on, does anybody know, or does everybody know who Epstein was or isn't? Like, does everyone know his background and who he is and so on and so forth? Okay, Shannon says no. Most said yes. Alyssa, Steve is clueless. Okay. So, all right. So some people don't. I'm assuming that everyone overseas doesn't either. Like my Aussies, they probably don't. Stephanie, I know all that, and a lot of that comes from Alex Jones. So I'm gonna leave it at that. Hey, Happy Granny, I've been reading about Epstein for years. Wicked Gaming knows. Hey, Marley. Okay, Marley Justice doesn't. So I'm going to get more into who he is, but he was a financier. He was arrested in July of 2000. He was a professor, yeah. He was arrested in July of 2019 on charges of sex trafficking and conspiracy to engage in sex trafficking. He was denied bail ahead of his trial. Multiple media outlets have confirmed Epstein died overnight by an apparent suicide while he was in jail. Epstein was a convicted sex offender who previously served 13 months in a Palm Beach County jail. Palm Beach is in Florida. After pleading guilty to 2 prostitution-related charges, a plea deal that has been heavily criticized, He had a high-profile social circle, including Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, and Prince Andrew. So before I get into the actual facts of what happened, he was first arrested at an airport in New Jersey on July 6th, arriving back from France. He was charged by federal prosecutors the following Monday and pleaded not guilty. Federal prosecutors also searched his New York City home following his arrest. During the search, they found, or they seized, I should say, photographs of nude underage girls. Prosecutors said the case would involve 1 million pages of discovery, including evidence from his Manhattan mansion. They would have liked the trial to begin next June. On July 18th, he was denied bail. He previously said he was willing to post $100 million or $100 million bail. That's how much money he had. Said to be more than worth $500 million. And that because he had so much money, it was possible for him to flee the country and avoid jail. So on July 24th, he was reportedly injured in his cell. Though it's unclear exactly what happened to him, he was found reported dead on August 10th, according to the New York Times. If convicted of the charges, he would have faced a maximum sentence of 45 years. He's 66 years old now. Let me go back up. So he associated with Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, like he was a higher elite, a lot of celebrities and other people in the public eye. Trump told New Yorker Magazine that he's known him for 15 years and that he was a wonderful guy. He's a lot of fun to be with. And this is a quote from Trump. He was a lot of fun to be with. He likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side. Following the news of his recent arrest, Trump said he distanced himself from Epstein in recent years. He said, I had a falling out with him, the president said. I haven't spoken to him in 15 years. I'm not a fan of his, that I can tell you. So is it possible that Trump knew? Serenity, I'm getting there. Is it possible that Trump knew what he was doing and cut ties? It's possible. Is it possible that Clinton knew what he was doing and did not cut ties? Absolutely. Now, former President Clinton issued a public statement acknowledging that he has ridden on Epstein's private plane, but that he was unaware of his criminal activity. President Clinton knows nothing about the terrible crimes Jeffrey Epstein pleaded guilty to in Florida some years ago, or those which have been recently charged in New York, reads the statement. In 2002 and 2003, Clinton took a total of 4 trips of Jeffrey Epstein's airplane, 1 to Europe, 1 to Asia, and 2 to Africa, which included stops in connection with the Clinton Foundation. Now, this is where Alex Jones gets all this from. At one point, Epstein had notably had ties to Queen Elizabeth's son, Prince Andrew. The extent of their relationship is somewhat unclear, but they were spotted walking together in Central Park in late 2010. At that point, he had already been a convicted sex offender. Now, being that he had that much money, it's kind of hard to believe that these people didn't know what was going on, that these people didn't see what was going on. I find that a little hard to believe. Stephanie, I do like people. So, hold on. All right. So of the many causes to which Epstein donated academic scientists were a notable subgroup. He apparently dangled financing for their pet projects, according to the New York Times, and attracted a distinguished group of acquaintances, including several nobles, to his home for parties and to scientific conferences that he sponsored. Epstein apparently had several scientific theories, including eugenics. New York Times uncovered that one ambition he discovered was to impregnate multiple women, thereby spreading his DNA. One account claimed his plan was for 20 women to bear his children, and that his ranch in New Mexico would be a base for this operation. This may have been part of his interest in transhumanism, the study of how to improve the human population through technologies like genetic engineering and artificial intelligence. AD, I totally agree. I'm reading this thinking the exact same thing. So I think the mirror behind is haunting. There is no mirror behind me. Oh. How's that? Better? Epstein started his career in New York City as a math teacher in the elite Dalton School. Hey, Kelly Cal. Hey, AD. But in the 1970s, hey, Capone, in the 1970s, he went to work in the investment bank Bear Stearns before founding his own firm, J. Epstein and Company, in 1982. According to Vox magazine, he specifically marketed those with assets worth more than $1 billion and operates his company out of the U.S. Virgin Islands for tax reasons. While Epstein appeared to be wealthy, living in a massive townhouse and giving large sums of money to a variety of causes, the source of his money was obscure. He has been widely called a billionaire, but Forbes disputes that claim, saying that he was more likely worth a fraction of that. Look, I don't care if it's a fucking billion or if it is I don't care if it's $1 billion or 500 million, even fucking 100 million. That's a lot of money. And in 2008, Epstein pleaded guilty to a felony charge. Oh, I already said that. Oh, no, I didn't actually. In 2008, Epstein pleaded guilty to a felony charge of solicitation of prostitution involving a minor, and was sentenced to 18 months in prison. He served 13 and was granted work release, which allowed him to commute to an office outside the jail 6 days a week. He also registered as a sex offender. So that was in 2008. But for those of you who do listen to Alex Jones, am I right, though, that this was probably who Alex Jones was referring to? And why was the prince walking with him in Central Park? Like, that's weird to me. What else? So what happened was, on July 8th, federal prosecutors charged him with 1 count of sex trafficking of a minor and 1 count of conspiracy to commit sex trafficking. Per the indictment, over the course of many years, Jeffrey Epstein, the defendant, sexually exploited and abused dozens of minor girls in his home in Manhattan, New York, and Palm Beach, Florida, among other locations. The document also noted, in order to maintain and increase his supply of victims, Epstein also paid certain of his victims to recruit additional girls to similar abuse. The prosecution alleges that he sexually assaulted girls as young as 14 years old. Now, having a 14-year-old, that makes me sick. Following the indictment, Epstein pleaded not guilty on both charges, and on August 10th, the New York Post reported that Epstein had died by suicide, citing law enforcement sources. Now, that's a kind of a background of everything. I'll be honest with you. I think it was suicide. I really don't think that he was killed. I think he was 66 years old. He was not going to go down as this horrible sex offender and spend the rest of his life in jail. You know, jail like that, even white-collar jail, hey, Mimi, that's a pretty fucking intense jail term. That's a pretty intense shit. If anything Alex Jones says is true, he would have been killed years ago. I thought you liked Alex Jones. I'm going to get to that, Amelia, too, why he was denied bail. Well, I did say that, actually. He was denied bail because he was worth so much money that they were afraid he was going to run. And anyone that's worth that much money, it's so easy for them to leave. And that's why they wanted to keep him in jail, because he was a flight risk. Well, that's the other thing, too. I'm going to get to that now. Hang on. This is why I was late starting tonight, because I had to pull everything up because I was out all day. All right. So he dodged the accusations of sexual abuse of girls, And he was able to cultivate an array of his high-profile friends despite his lurid lifestyle. He was found at 6:30 a.m. where he was pronounced dead. He was denied on federal sex trafficking charges, but he also had marks on his neck. Prison officials have been investigating the incident as a possible suicide attempt. And Epstein, who had been found injured on July 23rd, was placed on suicide watch and received a daily psychiatric evaluation. According to a person familiar with his detention, he was removed from suicide on July 29th and returned to the special housing unit, a segregated area of the prison with extra security. The authorities did not immediately explain why he was taken off suicide watch. Now, this is interesting, though. They don't know why he was taken off suicide watch. The FBI said it was investigating, and Attorney General Barr said in a statement that a special inquiry would be open and to find out why. I was appalled to learn that Jeffrey Epstein was found dead early this morning from an apparent suicide while in federal custody. Mr. Epstein's death raises serious questions that must be answered. In addition, the FBI, the Inspector General, the Justice Department's internal watchdog, will open an investigation into Epstein's death. Federal prosecutors in Manhattan last month charged him with sex trafficking. Girls is 14 years old. The indictment renewed attention on how Mr. Epstein, who has opulent homes, a private jet, and access to elite circles, had escaped severe punishment in an earlier investigation more than a decade ago. He had avoided federal criminal charges in 2008 after prosecutors brokered a widely criticized deal that allowed him to plead guilty to state charges of solicitation of prostitution from a minor and serve only 13 months. Lynn, I agree with you. Prince Andrew's got to be naive. Pizzagate, I know, but Pizzagate, all right, I'm going to get into that in a minute, Kel. The new federal indictment also focused scrutiny on luminaries in government, politics, business, academics, science, and fashion with whom Mr. Epstein had associated over the years, including Donald Trump, Bill Clinton, the billionaire Leslie Wexler. So I think he bought himself out that time. I think he bought himself out in 2008, to be honest with you. His defense team, which was some of the best lawyers around, declined to comment on the circumstance of his death, other than we are enormously sorry to learn of today's news. Yeah, because they're not getting paid. Fourth member of Epstein's team blamed a host of actors, from prosecutors to victims' lawyers to the media, for bearing some responsibility for his death. Hey, DNAP. Hey, Laura, on my other channel, I can't figure out what is going on with my other account. I don't know, DNAP. You're not getting notifications? I'm sorry, Shy. Jennifer Arrows, who said she had been raped by Mr. Epstein after being recruited into his circle in 2001 outside Manhattan High School, said she was angry that she would not be able to face his accusers in court. We have to live with the scars of his actions for the rest of our lives. While he will never face the consequences of the crimes he committed, the pain, the trauma he caused to so many people. She said that he hoped investigators would pursue charges against people who had aided and protected Mr. Epstein. And that's what I'm saying. Kim, I made that tonight for dinner. That's why I do think that it was suicide, because 66 years old in these circles, he's not going to want to do that. As far as Pizzagate goes, I wanted to address that. Pizzagate is an Alex Jones thing. If you guys remember, if you follow Alex Jones at all, Alex Jones said that Pizzagate was made up. He went and retracted all of that Pizzagate and said that he created that on his own. I don't remember when, I don't remember the dates, but I remember he did that publicly. So it was really good. So that's how I know that whole Pizzagate, I'm not buying it. Because Alex Jones did go publicly and say that he made the whole thing up. He had already made millions in settlements to some of the underage girls. I believe that. Lucky they didn't refer to Tampon Gate. Good one, DD. Alex is making money, not speaking the truth. Absolutely. Podesta Clinton. Hey, Rhonda. Podesta Clinton's Epstein, they're all connected. I don't know. I mean, look at Charlie Sheen. Can you blame all of Charlie Sheen's friends on the crazy things he did? You know what I mean? Alex Jones wasn't silenced. Alex Jones is a fucking idiot. I don't care what anyone says. The man is an idiot. Pineapple pizza rules. Hey, Harry. How many people do you know that have killed themselves, Laura? I actually know 2. I bet not more than 1 or 2. How is a conspiracy that over 50 people close to the Clintons have killed themselves? I'm not getting in there. I'm not going there. I'm not going there. I'm not going there. I swore I wasn't discussing politics. My hubby loves Charlie. There you go. Hey, Joanna. Another Clinton associate. But, I mean, think about it. They were president of the United States. They've been in politics for a long time. I'm not saying yes or no. And I know this theory that a lot of people have been killed associate by them. But think about how many fucking associates they have. They have millions of associates. Anybody can be an associate. I could be a fucking associate. So the new questions were raised about the earlier plea and agreement in November of 2018, which quoted 4 of Mr. Epstein's victims. Human trafficking is a huge problem. Look at how many children are reported missing, like 400,000 in 2018. No one is talking about this, and most of the kids are in the system. That's true, Angelica. In February, all right, so which quoted 4 of Mr. Epstein's victims who are now adult on the record for the first time. Not ones that you would be nefarious with. What do you mean, Wicked Gaming? It's a huge pedo ring. In February, the Justice Department said that it opened an investigation into the non-prosecution agreement. The inquiry is reviewing whether prosecutors committed professional misconduct in their handling of the earlier Epstein case. At the time, Cal, you can sign them on. At the time, federal prosecutors in Manhattan, apparently spurred by the Miami Herald investigation, opened their own inquiry into accusations of sex trafficking. The United States attorney in Florida who handled the 2008 case was Alexander Acosta, who was President Trump's labor secretary. After the new charges were announced against Mr. Epstein, Acosta's work on the earlier case came under intense criticism and he resigned. Mr. Epstein was arrested on July 6th at Teterboro Airport after his arriving from Paris. Hence my quotes around associates. He was accused of hiring dozens of girls as young as 14 to perform nude massages on him, at which point he would masturbate and touch his genitals with his hands or his sex toys. The abuse was said to have occurred at both his Upper East Side apartment and his Upper East Side apartment. Hold on, I just had boots on that was annoying me. Now I lost where I was. Okay. Upside apartment. The girls are paid hundreds of dollars in cash for the encounters, and once recruited, were asked to return to his home several times where they were abused again. The indictment against him said. Let me go back. I lost you guys. There we are. There we are. Law and Order did an episode based on this. Peter Scully, he's from the X-Files. Alright. Alright, so the judge said that he was denied. But there was something else I found earlier that was really good. Okay. Even after he did federal time, he was registered as a sex offender. He still successfully maintained a reputation as a billionaire investor, sophist, and philanthropologist. Hey, Long Island girl. Um, his client list was not as extensive as believed, and the services he offered were less remarkable than once portrayed. Earlier this week, blah, blah, blah. All right, so that's pretty much the background on everything. So now let's get into the good stuff. All right, hold on. There's more. Epstein was a prodigy, playing the piano at 5, skipping 2 grades in school, and graduating from Lafayette High School in Brooklyn. I think that's where my mom went. In Brooklyn when he was 16. Though Mr. Epstein took college classes, he never received a degree. Hey, Supercell. Hey, Beth. Instead, he landed a job as a math and a physics teacher at the Dalton School, an elite private school in Manhattan in 1974. His time there was brief, but some students recall that Mr. Epstein was willing to violate norms to his encounters with girls. An administrator told the Times he was dismissed from Dalton for poor performance. Now, think about that, though. I'm going to take a break for a second. Think about that, though. Think about how sick it is that your teachers may only be there because they want to molest you. Thank you, Criminal Quilter, that they may want to molest you or they're looking at you in a sexual way. That's crazy. Like, all these teachers, even if it's female teachers sleeping with people, like, it's crazy. In 1981, he left Bear Stearns, started his own firm, got all that already. Mr. Epstein came into closer contact with New York's rich and powerful after leaving the school when he worked as a Wall Street investor. So he claimed, so he was a liar too, though. He was slimy. He was a liar. Like, he claimed that he was handling finances for a bunch of different billionaires, and he wasn't. The only prominent billionaire that he had was Mr. Wexler. You know, Criminal Quilter, it's funny that you say that because, you know, when I was telling my daughter, when I went to school, like, I went to school and, like, every teacher was, like, over the age of 50. Phoenix and Sage's teachers are hot, male or female. Like, the guys seem a little older, but the females are like 27, 28, and they're all young. When I was in school, if we got like one female young teacher, like, she was like, wow, you know, wow, she's hot. And she was like 30 something. It's just so weird. Laura, I sent you a video about Peter Scully and that I hope you saw it. I'll watch it as long as it's not Alex Jones related. And then in 1991, Mr. Wexler gave Epstein an unfettered authority to handle his personal fortune for roughly 16 years. That enabled Epstein to become huge wealthy himself and supplied him with the Wall Street bona fides he needed to seek business from other executives. Along the way, he would acquire a mansion on the Upper East Side that once belonged to Wexler, a Boeing 727 jet from Mr. Wexler's company. So Mr. Wexler really, like, took care of him. The money he made working for Wexler enabled Epstein to buy his own island in the U.S. Virgin Islands, where he relocated much of his financial business. Triggles I went to high school with, slept with teachers who a boy did too. It was a big thing on the news. Damn. Had a Playboy bunny as a teacher in junior high school. Nice. He apparently never notified authorities of a suspected... I'm sorry. So Wexner apparently never reported to authorities his suspected misappropriation, even though Epstein was at the time being investigated in Florida for engaging in sex underage girls. So that's a billionaire who kept his mouth shut. In 2007, Wexler, who's now 81, had severed all ties to Mr. Epstein in 2007. Just this week, he wrote a letter to his charitable foundation that he had learned that year that Mr. Epstein had misappropriated vast sums from him. So he stole. He was a child molester. He was a sex trafficker. He was one hell of a guy, huh? Massage was his quote for sex. Apparently, that when he said it was that he wanted a massage, that it really meant that it was for sex. Let's see. A rotating cast of girls would sit around Epstein's waterfront mansion drinking milk. This guy was a sick fuck. Let me see if, before I get into personal views, let me see if I missed anything. He was with Trump at Mar-a-Lago at some beauty contest. Not recently, though. Okay. In 2016, the word massage became code for sex. My whole life revolved around just pleasing these men and keep Jeffrey and Ghislaine happy, she said. Their whole entire lives revolve around sex. They call massages sex. They call modeling sex. Miss Maxwell's now, Ghislaine is a woman. Yeah, Ghislaine is a woman. So just like every serious like sex offender and sex like psycho, there's always a woman that's by his side who does that too. I've noticed that. There's always a woman who's like just as sick as he is. Miss Jaffrey had said that she wrote in her recollections of her experiences in a journal, but burnt it in a bonfire, and she and her husband built in their Titusville, Florida backyard in 2013. Epstein's Palm Beach home was shielded from general public. John Alessi was a maintenance worker there from 90 to 2001, said he saw about 100 female masseuses at various times in the house. Trump kicked him out after that. If anything, I don't believe Trump is into young age girls. I don't think so either. Trump is like sick. He's not that sick. He refused to help build the wall. That's it. After massages, Mr. Alessi said in a disposition he occasionally found sex toys in Miss Maxwell's bathroom in the mansion. He said he put his gloves on, rinsed the instruments, and placed them in a closet. Why would you need somebody to clean up your sex toys? That's a little weird. Mr. Rodriguez, Mr. Epstein's butler, had a similar recollection. In July of 2006, he told a Palm Beach police detective in a sworn statement that after girls gave massages to Epstein, Mr. Rodriguez would go into the bathroom, wipe down his vibrators and sex toys, and then stash them in a wooden armoire near Mr. Epstein's bed. So with all this talk, we know this video is not monetized. On occasion, Mr. Alessi said he drove Miss Maxwell from one Palm Beach spa to another, where he left her business cards in order to recruit massage therapists for Mr. Epstein. Miss Maxwell recruited Johanna Schoberg in 2001 on the campus of Palm Beach Atlantic College, where she was a student. She figured she could make some quick money answering phones for Mr. Epstein. But she later found out that she was told to perform sexual massages and was punished when he did not have an orgasm. Around the mansion, massage tables were something. Even in outdoor spaces and in guest rooms, a massage was like a treat for all the guests at Mr. Epstein's home. Butler told a Palm Beach detective that Joseph Ricari said that he suspected the girls were underage in part because of their eating habits, reminding him of his daughter who was in high school. Rodriguez said that they would eat tons of cereal and drink milk all the time, like my teenagers. Report filed in 2015. Also among the unsealed materials was an Amazon shipping document, shows a book called Erotic Servitude, and a workbook for erotic slaves and their owners. You can buy this on Amazon. Both of which were delivered to Mr. Epstein's Florida home. Lawyers said they did not respond to comment. Detective Ricari said in 2013, after more than 2 decades on the force, that he interviewed about 30 girls who were sought to give massages. Some of the girls were terrified and tearful as he interviewed them. A number of the girls, including one who was 15 at the time, said that they bought Epstein's house and told they could make money by modeling lingerie for him. Once at the mansion, a chef would prepare the girls a meal. Then they would be escorted upstairs to the master bedroom, clad in a towel, often would request a massage of his feet and calves. He would touch the girls while masturbating under his towel. They would generally pay $200 per visit. What's a butt plug? We already went through that. Detective who died last year said that he was a human ATM. Required to always have at least $2,000 on hand to pay the women and girls. At least he paid them. Once Mr. Epstein instructed him to deliver a dozen roses to one of the girls at her high school after a drama performance. So, okay, so this guy was sick. Like, seriously fucking sick. She's asking for a friend. It's a sexual device. I've already explained this. But, so this guy was sick. Now, it goes to show, though, like, he was masturbating under a towel. So he never let the girl see it. That is, to me, that's the difference between sick and not sick. And before you guys jump down my throat or misconstrue what I'm saying, what I mean by that is someone that's hiding behind a towel knows what he's doing is wrong and illegal. That's the not sick. If you're doing it openly and you're letting this 14 or 15-year-old see you masturbate, you don't know that it's wrong. But when you hide it, you intentionally know that what you're doing is wrong and illegal and you shouldn't be doing it. Or you wouldn't be hiding it. That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying, Mimi. He knew it was wrong. Because, like, you hear about these people that, jerk off. And they do it to a 10-year-old. And the girl's freaked out. Like, they don't want to see a dick. Or, my daughter's never seen one other than a brother. Well, that's what they're saying. I'm just saying, hey, Foursquares, I'm just saying that, when someone does it openly, they may be so sick that they don't even realize it's wrong. They don't even realize how sick it is because they're all about themselves. Where if you're hiding it, you know damn well what you're doing is fucking wrong. Like, it's not about the girls seeing you do it. It's you want to watch the girls because you think they're hot. So you don't want them seeing your dick because then, it's just different. You know what I'm saying, though? I know what I mean. I hope it's coming across right. It's crazy, though. So, you are taking actions to be deceptive. What do you mean, Supercell? That kind of person is generally drooling into toasters. I'm just saying that when you're hiding what you're doing, but you're still doing it, even though the girls know, in my opinion, you know what you're doing is fucked up. You know what, hey, Misbehaving, I want to talk to you. Thanks, Criminal Quilter. When, you know what you're doing is just way wrong. Where that's why you're trying to hide it. It's you just want to get off looking at girls. You want to get off looking. Even though they know what you're doing, you're not shoving it in their face. Whereas, so you may not, like, you're not as sick as somebody who's just jerking off to a 10-year-old. You know what I'm saying? I hope I'm explaining it right. I think that's what Supercell is saying. Okay, Supercell, so you agree with me. He didn't want anyone to identify him by describing a huge mole or freckles or something on his dick. That's possible. It is actually realistic. Go to the Natural Center. I can't make up the numbers. Hey, Ben, I'm good. I agree with you. He's taken action to be deceptive by hiding his private so they couldn't. Exactly right. And then he couldn't say, like, they could say, well, we don't really know what he was doing under the towel. Like, we don't really know what we're looking at. We just know that he was doing something, Epstein was into all the degenerate games, but so was this female. And I don't think this female's being charged, and I don't get why. He seems to have this female with him, and I'm not finding anywhere where she's being charged for anything. And I don't understand why she's not being charged. He was evil, and I'm glad he's dead. I agree with you. It's allowed this to go on for so long, and only now are people listening. That's true, too. The recruiter. Is she being charged with anything? Because I haven't been able to find. Rich people seem to think they can get away with anything. That's very true, Dee Dee. Or that they can buy their way out of anything. Should I be complacent? How could she not know? Oh, she definitely knew. She groomed some of the girls. I agree with that. I think either dude in that scenario was sick, towel or not, but I do get the point you're making. Oh, yeah, I mean, he's definitely sick for what he did. But I'm saying there's different levels of sickness. Our truck is rolling and bouncing. Tell John I said hi. Dee Clintons do get out of everything. It's not just Clintons, though. You really can't find anything on this Jeffrey guy. Not even really any pictures other than the ones we see plastered. They're going to cover up. You really think so, Mel? Interesting, though. All right, so now let's get into a suicide. She befriended him and betrayed. That's what I'm saying. I don't know why she's not being charged. Okay, he may be dead, but she's still around. She should be charged. Let me see if I could pull anything up. Because I didn't up to date, but let's see if I can find anything. All right, here we go. We got some from 2 hours ago from the Post. There were 2 of them. With the aid of an army of alleged enablers, many of whom he kept in one Upper East Side apartment, he paid for unlimited salon services at Frederick Fekkai in Manhattan and gourmet takeout meals from Le Cirque. One assistant received a Mercedes and a nanny for a newborn to make her commute easier. A battalion of lawyers, pilots, and models who worked for Epstein stayed at a doorman high-rise in Manhattan, the epicenter of Epstein empire, in apartments controlled by him and his real estate investor brother, Mark, public records show. Many of the units were owned by a shell company. Girls recruited as models from around the world were brought to the U.S. and the building. Oh, so a lot of them weren't from the U.S. Yes. I could just call him Miss Maxwell, Beth. Girls passed through various apartments, blah, blah, blah. Epstein and Burnell would obtain a visa for these girls and would charge the underage girls rent. According to a cache of more than 2,000 documents unsealed Friday in a defamation case against British socialite and former Epstein pal Maxwell, Burnell had more than catwalk appearances planned for some of the girls. He is sending him... Burnell called Epstein and left a message that he is sending him a 16-year-old Russian girl for purposes of sex, the court papers say. Yo, this gets sicker and sicker. Another message from Burnell to Epstein discusses how he had sex with an 18-year-old girl who also been with Epstein. He just did a good one, 18 years. She spoke to me and said, I love Jeffrey, according to court papers. Damn. Virginia Giuffre was with Prince Andrew and Maxwell. So, Prince Andrew was involved in all this. Mick the Midget. So, Virginia Giuffre, a self-described Epstein sex slave who sued Maxwell and claims that she procured her for sex with Britain's Prince Andrew, said she was also forced to have sex with Burnell, as well as Harvard law professor Alan Dershowitz. Alan Dershowitz is old. And many other powerful men, including numerous prominent American politicians, powerful business executives, foreign presidents, a well-known prime minister, and other world leaders, the documents say. Among the other girls in Epstein's harem was Nada Something, who had been allegedly bought from her parents in Eastern Europe by Epstein when she was 15, according to the alleged victims. Who now goes by the name of Nadia, was one of Epstein's alleged sex slaves and allegedly participated in trysts with underage girls, according to court papers. Marcinko is now a commercial pilot and registered a Delaware aviation company, blah, blah, blah. Another Epstein enabler was Sarah Kellen, allegedly kept list of young women to recruit as massage therapists. All right, Leslie Groff, another former assistant protected under the agreement, allegedly coordinated travel arrangements with young girls and scheduled massage therapists. She was paid $200,000 a year, received a Mercedes E320, and services of a nanny after the birth of a child. They were an extension of my brain, Epstein said. All right, think about that though. 200, almost $250,000, a Mercedes and a nanny. Would you do it? That's a question. Would you do it? Kimmy P, get the fuck out. This isn't drama. Goodbye. Go fuck yourself. Have a good day. Thank you, Ben. You're 100% right. Because they're fucking assholes. Mods, just delete them. One bit of drama, delete. I want no part of it. Just delete it. Susan, you know what? That goes back to what I was saying earlier. That why do all these rich people think they're above the law? It's money. That's what they do. It's just money. Now I lost my article. Thanks, Ben. I look up for 1 second and boom. All right. Epstein worked as a long-time lawyer who occupied a 2-bedroom. This guy paid for a lot of shit. Makes me sick that there are children still going through this as we speak. Jeffrey was not the only one. That's very true. Money does open lots of doors, no doubt, but this man was disgusting. I agree with that. All right. Ghislaine was also an important companion. She was a former girlfriend who introduced Epstein at elite sorries in London and New York. Maxwell was accused by 3 women of procuring girls to work as sex slaves for Epstein in court filings. 2 of the women said both Maxwell and Epstein sexually assaulted them. She has not been charged with a crime and has not been spotted in public since Epstein's arrest last month. Come on. Why has she not been charged? Is she playing that she was being held captive? Epstein was arrested in New Jersey last month. Oh. Like, that's my question. Like, was she being held captive or something? Like, are they, the woman that was getting paid $200,000 a year, plus a Mercedes and a nanny? What were you possibly fucking doing? Some of them get drunk on the power that their money cries. Maybe they're considering her a victim. I don't know. I'm sorry, but $200,000 a year, you know what you're doing. No, it just says she hasn't been charged at all. This article was done by the New York Post on August 10th at 8:43 p.m. So this was like just posted. So they definitely did not be silent, stand up, fight back. Better to be wrong and say something. She by no means, that's what I'm saying, Mel. Look up Maxwell's father. Big time? With Rhonda, big time? I believe it. She will be charged. There's no pressure on LE. The public is sick of it. I don't know. As of 2 hours ago, she hasn't been charged. Well, New York time, 3 hours ago. That's crazy, though. That's crazy, though. You can bet they'll be... I don't know if they are. When you're working with the powerful least, what did it say? Terry, I don't care if it was a troll. It doesn't matter. Then they're stupid enough to use the other side's trolls. I mean, give me a break. Who cares? So on 9/1 of 2005 and on 2/28 of 2005, there were two messages that were released. The message said that somebody called. He has a teacher for you to teach you nor to speak Russian. She is 2 times 8 years old. That would be 10. Oh, I see. No. Not blonde lessons are free, and you can something first today if you call. Second message, she is wondering if 2:30 is okay. Well, no, she needs to stay in school. Yeah, I know. I got that 2.816. That's just crazy, though. New York Post is like all over this. Everything I pull up is from the Post. Oh, I'm sorry. All right. It says, he has a teacher for you to teach you how to speak Russian. Brunel said in another phone call on September 1st of 2005, according to the documents. She is 2 times 8, 16 years old, not blonde. Lessons are free and you can have first today if you call. The other message says, I have a female for him. Want to know if she should bring her friend with tonight, according to the documents. In a deposition, Jeffrey claimed that she was trafficked to MIT professor Marvin Minsky, who died in 2016, who was 88. Ew. As well as former Maine Senator George Mitchell, New Mexico Governors Bill Richardson, and money manager Glenn Dubin, whose wife Ava is an ex-girlfriend of Epstein's. Document also contains allegations that Maxwell tried to force 15-year-old girl to have sex with Epstein, threatening her and stealing her passport. Epstein was arrested in July in federal sex trafficking. He's being held, blah, blah, blah. Dude, this is sick. Like, this is, like, beyond sick. I know, right? Mel, I'm with you on that. Internet floods with conspiracy theories after Jeffrey Epstein's death. Heads must roll. Outrage at how high security jail could let Jeffrey Epstein die. Steve Hawking was also a client. Really? 88. Now what can he do? What'd I miss? Badgelin he replaced with a good government. I want to read the Little Black Book. Yeah, no shit, Beth. Alright. The disgraced money manager was found hanging by his neck. Is appalled by the apparent suicide and the ultra-secure lockup. So he was locked up with some of the world's worst terrorists and drug lords. Suicide there are nearly unheard of. Alright, so now we're getting into this conspiracy stuff. Well, it may not be conspiracy, but now we're getting into the good stuff. So, according to the New York Post again, is that he's in one of the most secure lockups in, like, the country. Some of the world's worst terrorists and drug lords are there. And suicides are almost totally unheard of. That says a lot. That speaks volumes. Like, seriously speaks volumes. Totally speaks volumes. Corey Feldman looking like genius now. We wondered about this stuff with the rich elite years ago and no one listened. That's kind of true too. Isn't El Chapo there? I think he was. I don't know. I kind of think he did kill himself. I really do. Hold on. Cover that. Chapo's in Colorado. All right. So Epstein's death raises questions that must be answered. In addition to the FBI's investigation, Barr said that he consulted with the Inspector General, who's opening an investigation into the circumstances. Upon finding Epstein unresponsive in a cell, jail staff immediately attempted to revive him. A second white medical... Oh, so there were two. This is that black van, white van that Tina was talking about. Epstein's body remained at the hospital until Saturday afternoon when medical examiner staffers in a black van took it to the ME's office downtown. A second white medical examiner's van was parked at a separate door as an apparent decoy for the crowd of press and photographers gathered at the hospital. Okay, so let's break that down here. Let's break this down. The reason why, because I know Tina had said it, but the reason why that there were two vans were very simple. One of them actually took him out. The other one was set up just for the press. There's no, conspiracy there. That is what it is. That's not a conspiracy. That totally is what it is. Epstein had inexplicably been taken off suicide watch despite an incident 3 weeks ago that he was found sprawled on the floor of a cell, nearly unconscious with injuries to his neck. Investigators were still probing whether the July 23rd incident was suicide attempt or assault by a fellow inmate. He was being housed in the jail's high-security special housing unit, in which high-profile or dangerous detainees are kept separate. The jail had housed El Chapo, but he's now at a Supermax prison. I didn't even know they had, Supermax prisons, like Supermax and Max in Colorado. 2 jail guards are required to make separate checks on all prisoners every 30 minutes. But overnight, that procedure was not followed. Prisoners on suicide watch get checked every 15 minutes. Be careful with the white vans. They're highly associated with abduction. That's very true, Hound. Guards typically remove prisoners on suicide watch in the unit where Epstein was housed, according to former U.S. Attorney Preet Bharara, who said he was dumbfounded by Epstein's death. So it seems that Epstein was in a special housing unit, but not recently on suicide watch. According to BOP's Bureau of Prisoners, suicide prevention program requires removal from the SHU, he tweeted. Epstein's death comes just a day after Manhattan federal judge unsealed a trove of shocking and repulsive civil court dispositions by the financier's former employees, friends, and victims. The new documents, numbering 2,000 pages, portrayed Epstein as an insatiable pervert who demanded a diet of 3 orgasms and who left scores of teenage girls, some as young as 14. Virginia Giuffre claimed Epstein forced her to sleep with Britain's Prince Andrew. George Mitchell all have denied her accusations. The documents also include a transcript of 2016 deposition of which Epstein repeatedly refused to answer questions to avoid incriminating himself. Heads must roll. Every single person in the justice system knew this man was on suicide risk and that his dark secrets couldn't be allowed to die with him. There's no question Epstein should have been under continual watch, said Cameron, a former warden. Unequivocally, he should have been on active suicide watch and therefore under direct and constant supervision. It's embarrassing, one federal law enforcement source told the Post of Epstein. This is the highest profile inmate in that facility. And considering that he may have attempted suicide 2 weeks ago, how could they let this happen? Now, before I go on, do you guys think that he paid off people? That he paid off these detectives to not do anything? Do you think he paid them off not to look in his room? I agree. Andrew should go to prison. I think they all should. I don't know why these women were not charged yet. But think about that. Like, really think about that. Do you think it's possible that he paid them off somehow? Or that the women that were working with him helped him pay them off? All right, Criminal Quilter says no. MSM is just another branch owned by elitists who run their own. Nope. I think he was whacked. Ben, why'd you come in as Dirk? So now cameras in the cells of inmates on suicide watch. The highest profile yet they left. That's why I think maybe he paid them off. As powerful as the Clintons are, don't discount. They could threaten Alex Jones. Don't underestimate them. They kill people. Okay. I just saw the pics of him in the emergency room. Where'd you see that, Beth? His lawyers were still appealing the bail when he died. That's how he made his money. He's probably chilling on some island with children. All right, here we go. Monica Lewinsky tweeted her support for the victims of the strange news. Attorney Lisa Bloom posted a screenshot of a message from her client, one of Epstein's victims. Why doesn't that surprise me at all? I will never have a sense of closure now. The statement reads, in part, I'm angry as hell that the prison could have allowed this to happen and that I and other victims will never see him face the consequences for his horrendous actions. You stole from us the huge piece of healing that we needed to move on with our lives. See, I agree with that. That's why I think it's suicide. I don't think he was killed. Killing would be too easy of a way out. I really think it was suicide. I think he did not want to face it. He did not want to do it. He wanted no part of it. And he was going to kill himself. He probably tried to hump the nurse in the ED. I wouldn't doubt that either. Monica would make a great troll. I know, right? Timing a congressman and senator being brought into case of clients brought to light yesterday. The timing is a lot. Intubated. Sorry, Congressman and Mayor. He knew he was finished. I agree he knew he was finished. But I don't know. Something tells me that he paid off these guards. Like, somehow he paid them off to not come in his room. And to make sure that they didn't watch. How do we know he's really dead? Too many people, that would be too big of a cover-up to not do. It would be too big of a cover-up. My opinion is they wanted the Epstein story finished. I think he's dead. He had too many secrets. It was a dangerous situation to keep him alive. That's true, too. I think it's strange that all these politicians with secrets to hide, regardless of party affiliation, found a way to come together and murder him. I don't think he killed himself. So we're pretty torn. This is like 50-50. Give me a 1 if you think he killed himself. Give me a 2 if you think somebody else did it. If you think he was murdered. 1 for suicide, 2 for murder. Court released 2 victims claimed Epstein pimped him out to specific politicians. Pretty half and half. What's a 3D? DD? Let's see. It's leaning, looks like it's more towards murdered. 1, 2, 3. 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. It's a little more for murder. Not much, though. 3 is that he's still alive. Out of curiosity, you should have them put up a 3. All right, put up a 3 if you think he's still alive. And go with the conspiracy theory. So we all band together and blow the lid off this big shebang. Give me 3s. All right, we got 1 3. I know Dee Dee said 3. Epstein was trying to perform autofellatio and got choked up in the process. He was going to spend his life in prison. He offed himself. 2 and 3, I'm torn. Okay. 10,000 count sheets to scratchy polyester. Yeah, jail is not fun. You're on fucking cement. 2. I saw him dead pic. Why, are there pics of him dead? They turned state's evidence. 2 or 3. I don't think he's alive. Too many people would know. Criminal. I'm torn. Need to read about it. Are his pics online? He was scared of being a pedo. George, I agree with that. He's used to the bad guys. Why would they want him alive? I agree with you. From the New York Times? Really? New York Times isn't showing anything dead. Nah, that's not really a good photo. Yeah, that's not a good photo, though. That could be anything. I'll show you guys. Hold on. Oops. Hang on. So you can see his face here, but I mean, I could see why people think he might be alive. Because 1, his eyes are closed, and there's no, usually when there's a dead body, they cover their whole body. And then that, oh, I see, because they were trying to revive him, that's why. That's the only pictures I could find. Um. Wow, Denise Richards looks like shit. So what they're saying too is that a suicide is almost impossible at this prison. Former inmate saying there's no way that he killed himself. Impossible. Um, One report said the watch was removed as recently as Thursday. Former prisoners said that's what I'm saying. They were turned to look away. Um, it says, what does the word suicide mean and the phrase suicide watch? Who was watching? Did they fall asleep? Did the camera malfunction? Was there camera surveillance? Who was he about to implicate? This is very questionable. Committing suicide on suicide watch doesn't happen. All right, here's an interesting statistic, though. In 2013, 34% of inmate deaths were due to suicide, according to Department of Justice. That's right, Aaron Hernandez did. Sex offenders are more likely than others to try to kill themselves. Pedophiles facing federal criminal charges are at high risk for suicide. It happened to several of my Maryland cases where defendants were released on bail. Detained pedophiles require special attention. Stopping people from harming themselves is difficult. That's an interesting way to look at it. Suicide watch guy gets checks every hour. No, they're saying every 15 minutes. But for some reason, this night it didn't happen. In other news, not getting off subject, you just kind of showed up. That Dayton shooter, my son's going to come in here because I think I'm calling his name. Suspected Dayton shooter slain sister was a transgender man. That may be why he shot her. Just totally off subject, but it just happened to be on the the news. It was the second attempt. Here's interesting. The prosecutor who helped craft Jeffrey Epstein's plea deal resigned from Department of Justice. Interesting. John, that's a dumb statement. Let's see. So they're saying that Epstein's death had something to do that was a lot more nefarious behind it. Began popping up almost immediately after news of his death was reported. Lynn Patton, a New York and New Jersey administrator for housing and urban development, was among many who pointed the finger at the Clintons. Bill Clinton flew on Epstein's plane multiple times, and Patton picked up on a popular theme that many friends and acquaintances of the former president and his wife had died prematurely. Hillary, Patton posted on Instagram with a screenshot of an article about Epstein's suicide. Let me know when I'm supposed to feel badly about this. Vince Foster, Part 2. She added, the hashtag refers to Vince Foster, a White House lawyer and friend of the couple, who died by suicide in 1993. Several hashtags related to the Clintons were trending Saturday. Former Congressman and MSNBC Joe Scarborough suggested in a series of tweets Epstein's death had a sigh of relief to powerful Democratic and Republican figures, and even a way out to draw Russian into the conversation. Congressman Al Green of Texas tweeted that suicide was an impossibility. Not lost in the social media was that Prince Andrew was among the men named in Epstein-related documents. Some even suggested that Epstein's death was faked, using an exclusive post photo of Epstein taken as he was wheeled in New York hospital. Conspiracy theorists suggested it did not look like Epstein. That's the kind of conspiracy theories I can't deal with. And all right, so what we know for sure is that Trump did not have ties to him. Trump has not spoken to him in 15 years. That kind of says a lot. Do you think Epstein was a Mossad agent? No. Birds of flock together. 36 times Clinton flew in this plane via logs. Where did you find that logs? Funny how so many Clinton associates kill themselves. Yeah, but how would Clinton get in the prison? Like, I don't know. I'm not saying it didn't happen. There's never been solid proof that Clinton was actually involved in anything. And I just feel like that somebody's going to talk. That if he was really involved in all these things like they say, or really connected in all these things, then how come nothing has come out yet? Is it because people are dying? Somebody would turn. I don't know. I just feel like somebody would. At Wicked Gaming, I know he didn't do it himself. Trump got rid of him from Trump Towers. Okay. A guard was paid to do it. I don't know. I don't know. In all these years that people are connected, I just feel like that if it was legit, somebody would have came forward already. Somebody would have said no. Somebody would have said, I know what's going on, or I know what can happen. I don't know. I keep getting the hiccups. Whew. Clinton signatures documented for every flight. They have. Not the ones that are dead. I don't know. I mean, don't get me wrong. I could be wrong, but the only actual proof I've ever seen about Clintons being involved is from Alex Jones or these conspiracy theorists that pull shit from Alex Jones and have their own channel. That's just what I see. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not saying I'm right, but that's what I see. I'm not sure where you are getting the media's tiptoeing around the pedophilia aspect. Your title doesn't reflect your stream as politics. Poor title. Sorry, have a good day. Bye-bye. Actually, my title absolutely reflects it. So I don't know what you're talking about. Their lives are at risk when they speak up. Yeah, but over the years, somebody's going to speak up. Clint flew on a plane like 26 times and went over the Pedo Island. Clint was on the flight list. Jones is certifiable. Hey, Denise. Certified the crazy. Me either. I've seen plenty. Not if they want to live. I don't know. I'm just not buying it. They have been speaking up for years, right? I don't know. Have they? I don't think so. Have you done specific research? Because it's out there. You won't hear it on MSN. Yeah, but the problem is the thing with specific research is that what happened to all my mods? I have like no mods in here. The thing with specific research is that the only thing that you can truly find, there's Becky, there's somebody. The only thing that you can specifically find is, there's another mod. I don't know where you guys went. The only thing you could specifically find is stuff on YouTube or stuff on other places. You're not really finding like the specifics of actual documents. And I know it's hard to find, but I don't know. Things aren't black and white always. I agree. It's because we're entertaining conspiracies and not discussing his potential psychological state of mind. But it's all affecting conjecture anyway. Oh, are you talking to that idiot, Katia? I know things aren't always black and white, Kara. I get that. What's wrong with stuff on YouTube? That's what this is, isn't it? Yes and no. But most of the conspiracy theorists come from watching Alex Jones and then putting a spin on it. I mean, like, I'm not going to lie. I have this big thing against Alex Jones. I've had it for years. I can't stand the man. I think everything that he says, he takes one little piece of something and drags it. Takes one little piece of something and twists it. I just can't stand him. I have watched a documentary on the Clintons. I have. Been lots of conspiracies over the years. Controversies, absolutely. JFK, what about him? I mean, I guess it's just my thing is, you can talk about conspiracy theories all fucking day long. We could come up with a million conspiracy theories about everything. But you can't think everything is a conspiracy theory. Because then what? There's a news site called TBK. They talk about all kinds of stuff. It's not your normal news outlet. Is he dead or on the island? Oh, he's dead. Who killed him? Oh, JFK? Unless you can prove it's a theory, you need to take the info and consider it for a moment. I have done that. Over the years, I have a lot of political friends, and every time they told me something that, like, we would debate, like my friend Fred, my ex-friend, whatever you want to call him, he was a big Alex Jones person, diehard Republican. He was actually my boss when I was a broker. Like, he taught me how to sell. And when I was living in Florida, he was living in Florida. And we became close again. And he was a big Alex Jones buff. And I never understood if someone makes as much money as he does. Like, we're talking with 7 figures. And is such a smart guy and, like, can sell his ass off. Can be so lame and listen to Alex Jones and thinks that all this shit's going to happen. Sorry, not buying it. And he would tell me about all this stuff about Alex Jones and Pizzagate and all these little things. And it was so stupid because it was like one little thing and it just got twisted. And it was crazy. And, you know, every time he came up with something with Alex Jones, I would disprove it by just one little thing. I'm like, look, he took one part of a truth and expanded on it. It's not the whole truth. That's what Alex Jones does. He's Zionist controlled. I'll agree with that. A lot of people had a lot to lose. Amelia, I agree with that, though. Serenity here, if we are to believe they were into some real shady shit. What is Pizzagate? Okay, Shannon. Pizzagate, Alex Jones said that the Clintons were involved in this pedophile ring sex trafficking conspiracy. Now, Alex Jones may have been right if he was talking about Epstein, but nobody knew, like Trump was involved too. Like nobody knew, general public or even Alex Jones never got into the depth of what it was. he used some Pizzagate thing where pizza, people people used to use the name Pizzagate as a way to cover up for sex traffickers. That's basically what Pizzagate was. Alex Jones wasn't silenced. Alex Jones was just kicked off YouTube. He wasn't silenced. Is she smoking a bong? Me, no. It's a vape. Let's see what proof they produce. Katia, what I miss? If the courts start digging into every nook and cranny of sexual lives of politicians, all hell will break loose. That is true, Katia. It's quite literally in the interest of national security for Epstein to be dead. That's one way to look at it. How do you explain those emails and well-quoted words? Yeah, but Pizzagate, Alex Jones said Pizzagate was bullshit. He said he made it up. Why he said it, I don't know, but he did say that he made it up. My eyes are killing me. But he did say he made it up. He openly admitted that he made it up. I don't remember who, what, when, where, or how, but he did say it. So, all right. So for those of you that think that that he was murdered, who do you think murdered him and why? I guess I know why, but who do you think murdered him? Cat, stop picking on your mama. It did kind of have to do with pizza. Because that's what they were using to cover it up. No idea who, but plenty of whys. One of the elites, or as many as a group. Explain the story of Jeffrey Epstein. Aussies tonight was really... thanks, Marley. You're welcome. So you believe him when he said he made it up. Alex Jones is not the only one to say... Yes, but most of the time... It starts from Alex Jones, and then all these other people run with it. But when you, at the end of the day, if you can always trace it back, it traces back to, it ends up tracing back to Alex Jones. Clinton associate, but he was imprisoned. How is he, why do Clintons have that power? They're not president anymore. It's not even a Democratic Party in prison. I don't know who, but I think a guard was paid to do it, or a guard was paid to look the other way while he was being murdered. Where did Epstein get his money? You don't believe it was from being a brilliant... They already said he got it from Wexler. Am I kidding? What? Don't know. He didn't make up Pizzagate. That's what he said. Epstein is back being a least pedophile vending machine. All right. I don't believe that he's not dead. That's a dumb theory to me. Too many people someone would talk. Wexler just gives money away to his friends like $1 billion. No, he stole a lot of money from Wexler. That's why Wexler cut him off in 2007. Pizzagate is way too much info proving it exists. Then it doesn't. He was paid to retract his comment. The henchman. I do think he's dead. I definitely think he's dead. That I do. You're not going to convince me otherwise. The AMT did talk. Too many people would have to cover that up. You have to remember something about a conspiracy. It's not too far-fetched to believe he killed himself because it's better than waiting for some hater in prison to take him out. That's true, too. Maybe he was a forced suicide. Maybe he was threatened. Maybe he was told if he didn't commit suicide, they were going to kill him. Maybe, you know how, almost like when you're forced to quit work? Like, if you don't retire, we're going to have to fire you and then you won't get anything to happen. Maybe it was one of those. Maybe he was threatened that he had to off himself, that he had to kill himself. For suicide. Kadi, yeah, I'll buy that. That one I'll buy. I will totally go with that theory. Absolutely will I go with that theory. 100%. I really do. That's what I believe. People are stopped from taking blackmail threats paid off. Scary, powerful people in all branches of government. That's what I said, but you missed that. I'm sorry, Sherry. Yeah, forced suicide, definitely. We need videotapes of Epstein's cell and an autopsy to settle this issue. Yeah, what happened with the cameras? What was up with the cameras? I am shutting down 11:30 though, because honestly, I got a headache. I may do some D-Live, do some gaming if I eat something and my headache goes away. I gotta finish this game I'm doing, which I don't even fucking understand what I'm supposed to do. But yeah, there was something with the cameras. I don't think the cameras were on. I don't think the cameras were actually on. Exactly, Brady. The cameras malfunction. What a coincidence. But, even if one camera malfunctioned, what about the other cameras? Like, you're not going to have just one camera, so that would be able to see if anyone came into the prison. Do you know what I'm saying, though? Like, if you have cameras, there's got to be cameras surrounding the outside of the cell, the inside of the cell. Can't tell me that every single camera malfunctioned. That would be a little too suspicious. Like, way too suspicious. Well, it's not a murder investigation. They offed Maryland, too. Indicates the rich ones that get away with it. Podesta is another sicko that needs to... I agree with that, Rhonda. These prison employees better watch their backs. But that's what I'm saying. Somebody saw something if somebody came into the prison. That's why I think that it was a forced suicide. I believe it was suicide, but I definitely believe it was forced. I believe they made him do it. And we also need to find out who came into the prison from July 23rd until today. Because that will also say a lot. That could have been the force. Did he get mail? I don't know if we'll ever be able to find that out, though. The only way that the jail employees will turn up dead is if... The only way they'll turn up dead is if one of them talks. 2 cameras and was checked every 30 minutes. How does James Afonso get to be in the top 40 most powerful people and he owns a pizza shop? Or his own paranoia. Prison visitor log should be public. I agree, D. Cameras weren't working. Guard wasn't guarding. Suddenly no suicide watch. All coinky dinkies. But none of the cameras worked or just a camera in a cell. I agree with that, Kara. We're only going to know what they want us to know. Yes, me misbehaving. I'll email you afterwards. I don't want to do it publicly. Well, actually, I'll do it publicly. I heard what happened the other night, and I just want to know if you were okay. Everyone wanted me to ask you if you were okay. I heard you got slammed. He didn't say he made it up. He apologized for promoting it and naming the restaurant. It didn't originate with Jones. Okay. People don't become leaders of the world by accident. That's true too, D. I agree with that, Dan. That's what I thought. Bong? That's a rumor about the cameras. Okay, so Beth said that's a rumor about the cameras. I'll have to look more into it and make like a part 2. Because like I said, I was pretty much gone all day. We'll never know what happened. He could have been in a sex trafficking group and they knew he had a lot of info. West and with Miss B. And that is why I don't believe anything verbatim and keep an open mind. I'll agree with that, Kara. And that's what's so hard. You don't know what to believe. You know what I mean? You just never know what to believe. Hey, Ginger. It's like you hear so many different things. And because we are prodigies of the media and we'll only get what the media tells us, it sucks. And then you have other people, it's like, well, how do you know it's true? Truth will hopefully come out. Hopefully. I mean, the good thing is, and this is like a long shot, but the good thing is that you have Trump and we just never totally know. Like, I'm sorry, I said that wrong. At least we have Republicans in office, and if he was attached to Democrats mostly, then maybe, just maybe, we will know more. Makes no sense that cell cameras in a super prison were not on with the high-profile guy. I agree. And they say it was the most high-profile in the whole prison. Like, he wasn't just high-profile. He was, like, the most high-profile person in the entire prison. Prison guards suddenly disappear. I'm with you. Yeah, right? So Miss Behaven, you didn't answer me. Are you okay? I heard you were trashed the other night. High profile in the entire country. Yeah, because everybody wants to know. Like, it wasn't just about the victims. Everyone wants to know that black book. Who's connected, everything. He should have been locked up with a public view of 24-hour live feed. That's true, too. Nobody told on Weinstein for years. Yeah, what's happening with Weinstein? We haven't heard anything. But I don't, like, watch the news as much. I don't even know how you kill yourself in prison. I'm not lying either. You don't get a sheet. Oh, yes, you do, actually. Misbehaving, you should have heard it today. Oh, my God. I'll be honest with you. I don't know how people kill themselves in prison. I really don't. The guy in jail killed my uncle, also faked a suicide of a young man in another jail. No shit. It's that they weren't being listened to. Right? They should have taken any items away first. Weinstein is Hollywood, limited shelf life. I'm just wondering if there's any new news on him. Because you haven't really heard much. Maybe he killed himself Star Wars style. He just lost the will to live. They hung him with a sheet. But I'm saying, like, I was in a cell. It's so hard to kill yourself in prison. Because, all right, let me explain why. There's nothing on the ceilings. There's nothing on the walls. It's cement. Cement fucking blocks. If you hang yourself in a cell, prison guards are going to see you. I know it's done. When I was in my cell, I couldn't figure out where somebody would kill himself. I just couldn't. Asangi is no longer in the news. Shove a whole egg down your throat. That will do it. You don't get an egg in prison. No, they're paid to look away. But even like regular suicide in jail, I don't know how they do it. At least the one I was in, granted, I was just in county. Thank you, Miss Behaven. And that's exactly right. I don't know if you heard the beginning of the very first minute of this live, but I said the same thing. I said, if I'm so horrible and I'm this horrible, awful person and I've done all these horrible things, why is nobody afraid of me? They should be afraid. It does happen, Laura. My uncle and a friend both committed suicide. That's crazy, Amanda. I just can't figure out how it's done. About the only way to do it is drown yourself in the toilet. Hey, Kelly, I'm actually shutting down in a minute. Area 51 is extremely, that intrigues me. I have very mixed thoughts about Area 51 or Hangar 51 or whatever you want to call it. It was the elite. I'm sure they get more things than regular prison. Maybe. There are millions of people wanting details this very moment. We'll be getting some of the details soon, or what you want to think are valid details. Good point. Then again, she's right about the Hangar 51. You better take some Motrin for that throbbing noggin. I do. I got a headache. I think it's because I'm hungry. I don't believe he was able to just kill himself. He's a pedo billionaire. They're not going to just let him die. More secret than Area 51, Areas 1 through 50. Jeffrey Epstein is hanging out with the aliens in Hangar 51. I think Area 51 is bogus, no aliens, just high-tech and experiments. Clinton doesn't do the dirty work, his goons do it for him. I'm out of here. Good night, people. Good night, Janine. Aaron Hernandez hang himself with a sheet from the window in the cell. Like, my cell didn't have any windows. Area 51, Roswell. Yes. I was at my sweet little nephew's 3rd birthday. I'll catch the replay. Good night, everyone. Good night, Kim. Yeah, I'm going to shut down. I really got a killer headache. I use my glasses. I don't know. Drink some fluids, too. I've been drinking. I really think it's my glasses. You cannot kill yourself on a pair of socks. There's no way you can hang yourself on socks. So, but I am going to cut this down. I will see you guys tomorrow. And I may have a pretty good interview coming up. I'll let you guys know next week. Patreons are going to get the interview, and then everyone else will get the replay. All I'm saying is we're only going to know what they tell us. Absolutely, Kara. That's what I'm saying. It's hard to determine what's truth and what's not. He could have been naked in that cell for all we know. That's true, too. That's true. I guess you can hang yourself with pants or something. I never thought of that. Watch Jailbirds on Netflix. Oh, it's about suicide, DD? I will. So, all right, guys. I will see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful night. Peace out.